Let's get this camera working.
Hello, everyone. All right, do we have Top Goober in here? There she is. Top Goober time.
Can you see me?
I'm here.
I can see you. You know
There we
what?
go.
It's going to be a heartwarming show because we've got the two young faces of Storm Chaser coaching, Stephen Cross, Anna Phillip, both here with me. I couldn't be more proud to tell you guys the truth.
I'm super excited.
You flatter me, boss.
All right, so let me pull up the live show questions list. Something I should have already had up before starting the show, but you know.
That mic boom arm looks similar to mine, but the mic is 100% different. Yeah, this is like a Fifine. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's okay. It was like $80. It's not the greatest for 80, but I think the quality's all right. But the boom arm is a little, but it gets the job done as long as I'm not like moving it too much. Oh,
So
looks like we
to
got
all of you. Welcome to
we
all
got
of you in
Dawson
the
in here.
audience. Dawson Yang, by the way, man, I haven't had a chance to play around with it yet, but it looks cool as hell, and I've seen everybody else talking about it. So kudos on your forecasting game simulator. I'm not sure exactly how you would classify it that you put out. Just very nicely done. Love seeing the young folks making major contributions to the WX community. So really, really cool to see that. I know a lot of people have said some great things about it.
I think that could be something really fun to play like a round or two on the office hours. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, did you set it up already?
Yeah.
Wait, did you actually have it set up?
Well, I just have to open it and I can just share my screen.
Okay, yeah. I think that's definitely something we can do. I am just sending out the tweets real quick, everybody, and then we're going to get into grilling Steven. In fact, some might say it's time
Okay.
for the deep dive. So,
Okay. Yeah.
welcome to the deep
This is a deep
dive.
dive. Looks like we also got Connor Steins in here, my good friend.
So, hey, Steven, while I am getting these tweets sent out, could you let people know why exactly the deep dive is hilarious? You can shit on me, by the way. I don't care if you talk trash.
Okay. I feel bad, but I think it was necessary for the success of this company. So when we started out with Storm Chaser coaching, we posted this content, and it would basically take the transcripts from Trey's video and create an AI script, and we would have AI like characters talk back and forth, and these were the things that I had to edit these videos. And at the beginning of every single video, the AI bots would go, "This is the deep dive," or "Welcome to the deep dive," for every single time. I don't know why it was just built into the script to say that, but it was, and that's just kind of a big joke we have now, especially when we're talking about AI. We're like, "Oh, it's diving deep."
And Stephen was the first dissenter to let the Emperor know that he had no clothes on. So I appreciate homely little Stephen, youngest at the company, speaking up and telling me what an absolute piece of hot garbage that content was. So we eventually discontinued it. And unfortunately, the deep dive with Trey Greenwood is no more. And oh, I see. Hey there, Volkswagen Jetta. Interested to see the memes that you post tonight. Just kidding, man. Just kidding. Anyways. All right. Let's go ahead and see if we have any questions. Anybody in chat? Dun, dun, dun.
It is time for the deep dive.
It's time for the deep dive. Welcome to the I see it. All right. So no questions so far. Then let's go ahead, Stephen, if you want to, and just give people a little bit of background on yourself, why it is that you are here right now on Storm Chaser Coaching, talking to people.
I don't even know. I mean, I was just an idiot who got in his car and wanted to see some storms, learn how to forecast, learn how to get out there, get on the right storms. I am literally only in high school. I mean, I don't know how I got where I am and the storms that I've seen. I'm so like it's probably the best decision I have ever made to start storm chasing. I started chasing about 2 or 3 years ago. It was in 2023. I started chasing the secondary season because that's when I had my license finally. And I mean, I had been wanting to chase pretty much my whole life. I've always been into storms. I think, especially since 2015. That's when I was living in Missouri. I had just moved. Yeah, Connor, boy, have I seen some storms. I know, especially you as well. Connor is a good friend of mine. He absolutely dominated in 2025. Connor was freaking amazing. Dude saw so many photos of
Hold
the
on,
tornadoes.
real quick. So he's a good friend of yours, but his name is Green.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not
What are you
gonna
doing,
listen.
Connor? What are you doing, Connor?
I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna real sly like drop this link in chat and listen, Connor. You can do with it whatever you'd like, man. But I know that if I had a friend like Steven, I'd be supporting him. Just throwing that out there. Anyways, continue, please. Didn't
He's
mean
here.
to
He's
embarrass
here.
you.
No, but yeah. So 2015, there was an EF2 tornado that was tracking straight towards my apartment complex, and this was my first ever experience with a tornado, and going right towards our apartment complex. And what do my dad, and my older sister do? We go straight outside. My mom's panicking; she's inside the apartment, and so me, my dad, and my older sister, we go outside, and we're looking at the sky. The sirens are going off, and suddenly we see the just like kind of like the cinnamon bun, when you look up in the sky and before the funnel comes down, you see this whole cinnamon bun that was going right over our heads. The full mesocyclone was straight over us. I mean, we were in the bear's cage there, the hook echo straight over us. What we didn't know at the time was that a tornado had lifted probably 5 minutes earlier, or even less than that. Literally, maybe like a mile from our apartment. It was just like burning overhead, and it was an EF2 tornado. It had a big old debris ball on radar. It was probably EF3 strength. So it was a pretty strong tornado, and thankfully nobody was killed or injured by it. It just hit some farmsteads. But yeah, that went right over our apartment complex, and I just remember the feeling that day of just your ears were popping, and the temperature swings were crazy. I think just with all of the downdrafts, all the evaporative cooling, just that you get crazy temperature swings because it was so hot and humid and sticky. It was June 28th. It was very, very hot and sticky, and so that I don't know, just how quickly the atmosphere changed that evening kind of stuck with me. And it was funny because before I moved to Missouri, I was like, I told my friends. I mean, I was in first grade. I told them like, oh, I might see a tornado because that's basically Tornado Alley. I just thought like, anywhere up there in the Midwest. I'm like, because I was living in Houston at the time, we didn't really get tornadoes, maybe hurricanes, and that was it. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna see a tornado, and there I was, like a week living in Missouri, a week later, and there's a tornado going right overhead, spinning overhead. It was wild, and I guess ever since then, I've been fascinated, especially since we saw the damage. That was the first time I've seen tornado damage. We went there the next day and saw just the destroyed. It was a home. They weren't home, but the home was obliterated. And I didn't like. I had no idea that freaking nature could do that. Like it was incredible to see that. And I guess ever since then, I've been, anytime a storm rolls in, I'm outside trying to figure out how it works. I used to bike chase before I was able to drive. I would go on my bike and scout out the best locations to see storms and take
Absolutely
pictures of
nuts.
them.
You would storm chase on a bicycle?
Yeah. And then like, and I would just accidentally go on a bike ride because I don't know how my parents feel about, being out on a bike in a storm at like, I don't know, 12 years old. Like that's not the safest thing. Oh no, there's a storm rolling in. Oh, and I'm gone. But yeah, so I guess I've been chasing 15 years. I mean, something like
Well,
that.
Steven, you said a few moments ago that you weren't sure exactly how you got here, but I actually am. Seeing as I'm the CEO of the company, it would be derelict in my duty to not know how you got into the position that you're currently inhabiting. So let me tell everyone, actually, as sort of an encouragement to all the young people that are listening. We originally brought Steven in to be an editor. He responded to one of our tweets. He submitted a resume. First of all, he had done a lot of work on his own, so on his YouTube channel. And I believe you had done some editing for other people as well, right?
Um, Let me think. I mean, I've been editing for a while. I used to handle a social media page for my dog, and it had about almost 200,000 followers on TikTok, and
Right.
that
So
was
you had done
that
a
was
lot of stuff
yeah.
already.
Yeah, so I've been editing for a while, and I've just been getting my YouTube channel going. I don't post a lot, but I make sure what I post is worth it. But yeah,
So
I guess
that's the first thing right there that I'll say to
yeah,
people is just
and
do
I
something, because when an opportunity arises, if you have something that you've done, it looks a whole lot better than I was thinking about it, but I haven't done anything yet.
Yeah, and the thing I think the thing I sent was the work I've done on the Valley View documentary, which I want to mention Connor again. He's the reason or that's the reason we're friends, was the Valley View tornado. That's when we met. We met after that, and shared the experiences we had, because he was, unfortunately, he sheltered in a gas station, and a lot of us have seen that incredible video inside the gas station where that tornado hit the gas station and ripped it apart, and everybody lived inside that gas station. And so that's what my documentary is going to be focused around, is that tornado. Yeah, there he posted pictures, I think, of his car. And I just wanted to tell his story. And so I think that's the thing that I submitted. I haven't posted that documentary, and I probably won't post it for a little while, because I want to get my YouTube channel up and running and monetized. I just, I'm trying to finish out my senior year of high school. I've been pretty busy with that, but slowly but surely I'm working on that, and I want it to be probably the best piece of content I will ever make in my life. It's probably going to be over 45 minutes. I mean, it might be like a full documentary. I'm planning to do some interviews, get really deep into the animation, the storm dynamics. Like I'm researching this tornado, research this tornado every single day, since it happened. I mean, I was in the coach Q&A yesterday talking about it with Cameron. I've talked about it with Trey. I've talked about it with pretty much everybody, just because that tornado was so wild, and there's so much that I don't understand about it. But it has helped me learn so much. Just that tornado alone, I've learned so much from it. But yeah,
Yeah, so
that's
that's
yeah.
that's the number one important thing is actually do some stuff, so that way when you have an opportunity, there is a body of work for people to look at. And that obviously made an impression on us when we were looking to bring somebody on board to help. And the whole junior coach thing wasn't even something we had thought about up until that point. But that leads me to the second point, which is just be useful. Find a way to be useful to people, and opportunities will present themselves, because we have a lot of questions that come in on all of our various platforms. Of course, Discord now being first and foremost. But when you're talking about YouTube comments on long form videos and shorts, Twitter, we get emails, if you would believe it or not. I know that's a dying thing for all of you young people. And Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. So not every question is created equal. Not every question needs Cameron Nixon or Trey Greenwood to give an answer about the crazy kinematics on a particular day. Some of it's more, introductory type stuff, the exact type of stuff that someone like Steven has been studying for a while. And so Steven would just pop in whenever he had an opportunity, and he would help people with some of the less complicated questions that they were asking, some of the stuff that required a little less knowledge, and definitely something that we all noticed that he was going above and beyond in that regard. And so one thing led to another, and here he is, our very own junior coach. He's kind of like a farm system. If you know the minor leagues in baseball, we're hoping that he's going to actually have a good enough batting average that we can promote him to coach one day. But if not, we'll just cut him or we'll trade him to another team. So
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I did leave the company the other day, remember?
I do remember that. Stephen also blesses us quite regularly with Donald. Is that you making the Donald Trump impersonation?
Yes.
Can you do it right now?
Oh Lord. All right.
You can turn off your video if you'd like.
No, that's okay. I think it adds to it. All right. Well, look, Gabriel, thank you for having me on this great show. I think this show is, quite frankly, a lot better than the other ones. We got Trey Greenwood. Look, I think Trey is great, but he's fake news. He looks at the maps of the, what do they call it? 500 millibar. That's a lot of numbers, and I think I know more about it than he does, because he pretends to know it. He's like, "We'll start off at 500 millibar," but I don't think he really knows what that means, and so that's why I'm here today to tell you about the 500 millibar. I think it's a great parameter to use, and well, yeah, Trey Greenwood, he's fake news. He is fake news.
Every once in a while, we just get little snippets like that sent to us in our work chat. And so, yeah, that's basically what we're rolling with here. Yeah, people rightfully like the impersonation. Yeah, he's pretty good at what he does, folks. So yeah, Steven, along with Top Goober here, who's our now Discord community manager and also our social media manager. We like to promote from within. We like to see people, young people especially, that are putting in the work. And so this number one is not a call for all of you to flood my inbox on Discord or Twitter or whatever. We're not currently accepting applications, but if you hang out with us in the Discord server, you comment on stuff on Twitter, we definitely take notice of the people that are involved, that the people that are actually constantly being positive and helping out other people and that sort of thing. So just keep that in mind, young folks, when you're looking for opportunities as you get older.
Yeah, I'm just here, bro.
You in fact are
I'm
just here.
I am excited to see
Some would
Anna at the summit.
some would say that's your top skill, Anna.
I am very good at existing. It's probably one of my best things to do, other than shit posting.
I am excited to see you at the summit, though. You and Hannah.
It's gonna be awesome.
All right, Steven, we've got
It's
some
gonna be great.
questions, so it is time for you to sink
All
or
right.
swim. I hope the first one stumps
Oh,
you, so I have to
okay.
eat all the kind words I just said about you being knowledgeable. All
Oh,
right.
Trey.
Sawakin Storm Chasing asks, do you get good views outside of the notch, such as being southeast of the cell on a northeast mover? Great question, because a lot of people obviously are newer storm chasers. They might not feel comfortable getting in the notch. Maybe they just don't want to mess up their vehicle with potential hail. So, can you still get a decent look at a tornado if you're on the southeast side of it?
Yeah. If you're on the southeast, I want to see if I can, because I want to be able to draw. I have a whiteboard. It's a massive whiteboard, but
I think there's actually a program built into Discord as well that's whiteboard.
is there? Oh, is there?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
So we're doing this a
Alright, let me
little on the
figure it out,
fly.
because I'm pretty sure you're about to ask me if I can figure it
Yeah,
out for you.
because Anna and I have played around with it before in voice chat. It's one of the games that pops up if you want to play a game in voice chat. I'm pretty sure it's available right here. But yeah, Steven, if you want to start diving into it, Anna will look it up and see
Yeah,
if we can get it up on the screen.
I
yeah.
don't think
Welcome
we
to the
can. I
deep
think it's
dive.
a voice chat only thing,
Okay, that's fine. I don't
which
need a.
sucks.
Okay,
I
okay,
would
gotcha.
get I would get another program, but I don't want to take too long. So yeah, if you're on the southeast side of a supercell, usually that's a pretty good spot to see something. In super HP supercells, you get these HP supercells where they have lots and lots of storm relative inflow, so you have a whole lot of wind shear. Those supercells are gonna get super massive, and when you couple that with extremely moist environments where you get lots of PWatt, those cells you're gonna get lower LCLs, like when you have a moisture boundary layer, a moisture surface. So those are going to be a lot more difficult to see. You're going to have to get a lot closer. And when you have like LP cells where you have lots of ventilation aloft, where the wind shear is super, super fast above the ground, well aloft, it'll be able to vent all that precipitation out, and those storms are going to be a lot better for seeing. So being on the southeast side is actually one of the better spots. It's one of the safest as well on a northeast mover. Because if you're, I don't know how to do this. um, if you have a northeast mover and you're on the southeast side, it's never really going to hit you. That's probably the best bet to be. I don't want to say never, because you can have like a Grand Island situation. You can have the crazy slow moving plains tornadoes that go all over the place. So you got to be careful with the slow moving tornadoes as much as you do the quick moving tornadoes. But yeah, the southeast side again is a great spot, because that's the spot of least risk. I want to talk about the southwest spot, because the southwest spot is also a great spot, because that is going to be moving away from you. But yeah, the main downside about southeast is the convergence from Jacob. I got to shout out Jacob as well. Jacob is a freaking amazing chaser, and dude saw Wellfleet this year. I mean, he saw so many crazy tornadoes. Jacob is one of the chasers of the year. He is so talented. But yeah, being on the southeast side, seeing seeing that the southeast side is like probably the best side to be to see tornadoes. You're also going to see a lot of chaser convergence. So the southeast is a great spot, but one thing I want to try this year is the southwest. I think the southwest side is a great, great spot, especially for LP storms and LP tornadoes, because the southwest side is usually going to be illuminated by the sun. Because the sun is in the west, and if you're on the southwest side of the supercell, your tornado is just going to be this beautiful white tube. And I have really yet to see that. The best I've seen was Holly, Texas, but I was on the southern and southeast side, so it was a very high contrast, and it was a very dark tube. But being on the southwest side is great. It's not going to work every time. I think an example I have is Windthirst, Texas, on May 25th, 2024. I was performing a hook slice maneuver, and I was on the western side. Couldn't see anything. That was a pretty like HP tornado. I mean, it was the first tornado was pretty visible and pretty photogenic, but it became HP, and I was on the western side, and the RFD was wrapping rain around the hook, and you couldn't see anything. Couldn't see a single thing. But if you get the right LP storm, this is why being on the west side is better in the higher in the high plains where you have drier environments. You have less. You got like, I'm not going to say LP storms, but because I mean, or you still get some big beefy supercells up there, but they're going to be a lot better ventilated and drier up there in the high plains. Being on the west side is, I think, a great spot if you want a good tornado photo. You just have to have an LP supercell. So I think that's a very underrated spot. It's just really hard to pull off. But yeah, like to answer the question, southeast side is probably your best bet. There's just gonna be a lot of conversions. And I see somebody asking what PWatt is. PWatt is basically a measure of the amount of moisture in a column, so like throughout the atmosphere. So if there's like 2 inches of PWatt, if you were to condense, I believe if you were to condense all of that uh, precipitation, all that water vapor out, you would get like 2 inches of I guess precipitation. And so the higher number you have, the more moist your environments are going to be, and the hazier and the rainier they're going to be. And PWatt is a very important role in kind of um, predicting how visible your storms are going to be, how wet and messy they're going to be. And it's also a great thing to use for flood forecasting. It's one of the main things used in flood forecasting because it tells you how wet is your atmosphere, how much rain are we going to get. So that's what PWatt is. And yeah, I see Connor posted a tornado of Windthirst. You can see it's not a high precip or like a rain wrap tornado. But when I was on the western side, I didn't see that first one. I chose the wrong cell that day. That was a bust, at least early in the day. And then Valley View happened. But I was on the west. I shot down to go after that. And after that photogenic tornado Windthirst, it put down another one. And I was with my dad, and that's where we were behind the hook on the western side. I'm like, oh, we're going to get a beautiful view of this because I saw a photo of that. I'm like, that looks LP. Like that, there's no rain surrounding it. But then I think it got undercut. The RFD wrapped the rain around, and then that hook kind of became a little more HP, and I didn't see anything. But we were like maybe a mile away from it on the western side. But yeah, PWatt's a great one, Connor.
You know, the only thing I could think of when those photos of Connor's vehicle got posted was you can't park there.
Oh my gosh, Connor,
So I don't.
I hope you're laughing. Can't park there. Connor's a pretty good sport about it.
Let's see. Radar Shark says, I was on a storm that produced an EF0 2 miles away. Would that be my first tornado since I was on the storm when it happened? I got bad news for you, Radar Shark.
No,
I
okay.
actually posted. I actually posted a couple of years back the definitive rules of storm chasing, and no one has challenged me on them, so they actually have been solidified. Now, along with same supercell, same tornado, if you don't actually see the tornado when you're chasing, it doesn't count. Also, if you see it after the fact, you have to do some creative editing. You have to zoom in. It also, immediately after I said that, like 2 people left the show, by the way. Guys, it's just a joke. It's just a joke. Sorry, Steven. Didn't mean to kill your audience. But, anyways, no, I'm sorry, Radar Shark. I apologize. But you know what? That just means when you do see your first tornado, it's going to matter that much more because there's going to be no doubt whatsoever in your mind.
I'm gonna have to disagree. For me, it's all up to you. I mean, you know,
What is that
there's nothing.
hogwash? It's all up
There's
to
nothing.
you.
There's nothing stopping you from putting your tornado count in your bio and like counting every single like spin up in a storm, rain wrap spin up. Like what? Because I don't count everything. Like when I was on the Morton, Texas supercell, that put down so many tornadoes. I didn't count every single one of those. Like we were repositioning, we didn't see them. Like I agree. Like if you see it, you know that's a tornado. But I don't think you have to see it because sometimes there's just no way. Because Sulphur, Texas, or sorry, Sulphur, Oklahoma, excuse me. there was no seeing that tornado. It was 10:30 at night, completely HP. Like it was probably the worst profiles for HP, like massive HP supercells, just insane looping hodos that just looped right in front of the supercell, and you just had this incredible amounts of P watt. I think it was a high risk for flooding that day too, which is never. If you see a high risk for flooding in your risk area, don't go. I mean, that was a bad outbreak. It's not like it prohibited tornadoes from happening, but it was just so messy. And I was just behind that tornado on the western side of the Hook Echo, as were a lot of people, because that was the kind of the best way to approach it. And it went right through the town, and I pulled into the town just a couple minutes later, and I mean, that was a tornado that I experienced, and I think for me, I'll count it if it like meant something to me, if I really felt that I chased it, because I had to think strategically about how to approach this tornado and not kill myself. I think that's a very valid thing to be able to count, is if you feel the experience was a tornadic experience. I guess I don't know, if you felt it, if you felt you chased it, I guess.
I was about to say, are you really going to go with if you feel it, count it? Is that your final answer?
Yeah, if you feel it, count it. There are some I
That's
count, there are some
insane.
I don't. There are some I count, some I don't.
That's insane. We need an objective standard. Listen, and you
Yeah.
said, by the way, there's no one stopping you from putting it in your bio. I am. I'm right here, and I'm fighting the good fight. I'm stopping everyone from doing it. So, okay. Anyways, we'll move along to the next person that has a question. Sanus Northeast Chaser, I saw you put your hand down. You had it up earlier. Okay, he put his hand back up now. I'm just going to tell you right now, though, you generally have the most in-depth questions. All right, this better not be like I'm going to try to stump the Steven type moment. All right, you can. I'm just letting you know. I'm looking out for my man Steven here.
I'm not
So,
telling you
Steven,
my
are you
opinion on
ready?
psychological warfare.
Okay, well, I'm going to unleash Sanus Northeast Chaser on you. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I think I'm ready.
All right, here he comes.
For a little quick bit of explanation, my hand was up because I was driving home from the gym and I had my dad in the car and I just walked inside, so I had left for a moment. Now I'm on my computer. Uh, First things first, he heard your valley. Oh, what is it? He heard Connor's Valley View story. I don't think he's very enthused and isn't any more excited about wanting me to actually chase a real setup. The second thing is he heard you talking about your dog's TikTok account and said it reminded him of the Doge. The third thing is I don't have any complicated storm dynamics related questions tonight. I wanted to ask about Holly again. I was
Yeah.
more just wondering, like, how did you because that day, like, that was very much like like a freaking roulette type day. How did you
Yeah.
figure out which storm you wanted to target that day? I don't remember what it actually looked like meteorologically, but like, how did you figure out, like, where did you want to target, like, just coming out of school and booking it?
Yeah. First of all, I appreciate the the comment about Chief, my dog. He does kind of look like the Doge. I'll show you a picture of him. I don't know. It's just first one I pulled up. It's a little bright. If it's too bright, you guys can go follow him. It's official
Yeah,
diving
post
dog.
one in chat. Yeah, post some stuff about him in chat. I know he was really important to you, and you did a lot of work with him, and we should all take a look at that. So
Yeah, I'll put the TikTok in chat here, because that was the main video or page that I posted on, was official diving dog. He was literally my best friend. He was the most talented dog I've ever seen. I mean, 1 in a billion, not even 1 in a million. He was 1 in a billion. I don't know how he did it. Dove to the bottom of our pool, like 8.5 feet, and just literally just, I mean, just wowed it millions of people. And I stopped posting on that page because it just kind of stressed me out. I just wanted to enjoy time with my dog and not worry about that. And I kind of just got into storm chasing after that. But yeah, so he recently passed away on December 1st last year. So that was really unfortunate. But I'm so happy. Like, we gave him the best life he could possibly have. We adopted him when he was, I think, 7 years old, and I mean that was the best life he could have ever had. He was literally my best friend. Freaking amazing dog. But yeah, so he does kind of look like the Doge a little bit. He's freaking adorable. So yeah, you can go watch some of his videos there that I used to make when I was younger. But yeah, now your question about Holly. So Holly, Texas. Yeah, thank you guys. He was freaking amazing. But yeah, Holly, I wasn't even supposed to be on that storm. I was not even supposed to be out that day. I don't know how. I had a doctor's appointment and I left early from school. And I think because now I'm in senior year and I've senior out and I can get out at 1:30. I can get a decent ways away, storm initiation time, and then to get to that 0Z magic hour. I think maybe I can get to the Panhandle this year, but I think I was getting out of school at 3:35 then, which is not great. But I had a doctor's appointment that day, and I think I got out at like 1:30, maybe, but 1 o'clock. I don't know what time I got out. Doesn't matter. I had a doctor's appointment, and I think it was Ben Williams, the storm chaser Ben Williams, I believe, the one who lives in Joplin, and there was a tornado up there near Joplin, and it wasn't even in the 2% tornado risk. It was completely outside the risk, and I was like, it kind of reminded me like, dang, anything can happen. Literally, Mother Nature just does whatever the heck it wants. And I'm like, there's a 5% risk over there today. And I'm like, it looks like a mesoscale accident day. There wasn't any boundary in place, but they went 5% just because there was freaking like 3 or 4,000 joules per kilogram of CAPE, just a classic 30 sig Texas hail day with maybe a boundary somewhere. And the storm motions were going to be really slow. And I'm like, this is going to be such a good photography day. These are going to be freaking beautiful, and I won't have to move anywhere. And I'm like, you know what? I got out of school early today. I think I have some time to chase. And I told my dad, I'm like, hey, I'm going to go to Abilene. He's like, okay, be back by like 9 or something. And so I head over there, and I wasn't able to get there for storm initiation, but I'm pulling up, and there's two sets of supercells. There's the northern mode, I guess, and then the southern mode. And I started going towards the southern mode because they looked at the healthiest. But the northern ones also started to die off them. So I started going south. But then I saw new ones initiate on the northern mode, and I was like, huh. And then I see this supercell split, and then the left split goes up, and then I start seeing this left split, and I'm like, that, and it has a boundary attached to it, and I'm like, funky things happen with boundaries, and I don't know why. I guess that's maybe why I went there. It was just kind of a feeling of instinct, the northern ones. So I go to those northern ones, and I see, online tornado near Anson, and I was so pissed. I was so mad. Beautiful photogenic Anson tornado, just tall tube spiraling, and then it just ropes out, and I'm like, oh my goodness. And I'm like, I missed it. I missed the tornado of the year. And I pull up, and I just see this little nub funnel. And this is another thing I found especially with these mesoscale days, pretty much only with these mesoscale days, you get these really weird storms that produce tornadoes. Like, they don't have wall clouds, not all the time. Sometimes they do, but this one, it was literally just a nub. Like, it's just this little nub that comes down from the storm without a wall cloud. At least, yeah, Akron was like that this year too. I'd love to hear that theory, Sanist. It was weird. It was just this funnel that came down, and I was like, holy crap, here it comes. And so, yeah, that tornado just got put down, and it was on the ground for about 30 minutes, and it barely moved anywhere. I think it moved at like 7 miles an hour. So that's going to be the most beautiful tornado I see for a long time. So yeah, it was really just getting out of school early, intuition, slow storm motions, and just kind of, it was just, you can't really predict that. I saw that splitting storm, and I'm like, something might happen. It's going to be 50-50. Is it going to destroy it, or is it going to be a constructive merger, or that left split? And it just ended up being beneficial to that storm. And I mean, I don't even know how that happened. That left split had an outflow boundary, and I mean, the rest is history. It was crazy. It was a beautiful tornado.
Next up, we are going to let 2017 Volkswagen Jetta come up onto the stage and speak. That name always gets me, so your time to shine, my friend.
I'm gonna be. I didn't even realize I had my hand up. I must have accidentally pressed it when I hit the chat button. But I'll just come up with something right here. First of all, I don't forgive you for January 19th.
It'll flip.
Anyway,
It'll flip.
Okay, hold on. I need the lore.
okay, so basically this was the whole blah, 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 the solar storm in the aurora where it stayed north when it was the peak. And Steven said it'll flip, and it never did. So now it's just a running joke that that he's on my hit list now.
It technically flipped. I think the solar density was just too low, and it wasn't bright. And
after it died,
flipped.
so therefore it doesn't count. So therefore my reasons are justified. That's
You're right. You didn't see the solar storm, so you don't get to count it. See how that tracks
exactly
with the same logic as earlier? Okay, now we're getting somewhere. All right.
Get these two off stage.
okay, fine.
I was saying that based on hope that it would flip. Not that I believed 100% scientifically it would, but I was literally just sitting in a lot for hours, and I was just hoping it would flip, and it never did. Well, it did. It did, but just not the way we wanted it to. The hopium.
Indeed, the hopium with the solar storms, man. It's I'll tell you what. Obviously, the higher end severe convective weather events are a bigger deal. But if you want to talk about WX Twitter, WX Discord, just the whole WX community coming together, there's nothing quite like space weather. It's like every single person. I think it's because it's so ubiquitous across the entire United States. Every single person has a chance to get a piece of it. It's just really interesting to me, pun intended, how all of the social media platforms light up with commentary and people talking about space weather in a way that I would have not predicted if you told me about that 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, the space weather community is something that I'm really just getting to learn because I live in Texas and I never really cared for that because we don't get auroras that often, but I've seen 3 now, which is like 3 shows, and I mean, it's so crazy. I mean, I've seen 2 of them with my naked eye. One of them was so bright. It was October 10th, 2024. That one was so bright. I mean, I was out in the middle of nowhere, but that was freaking amazing. But yeah, I'm learning just how fun it is to forecast those. It's literally the same feeling as chasing a storm, just watching the BZ, right? Just waiting for it to dip south, and it never does. And you're out there in like Oklahoma or whatever, and it just doesn't. And it's like, oh my god, same
I have a
feeling.
question for you, Stephen. Let's say you get out there at like, I don't know, 10 p.m. You see some auroral activity, then things die down for a couple of hours, another substorm hits. Do you count that as having seen 2 separate auroras, or is that all still the same aurora?
I want to punch you.
It's a fair question to ask. Go ahead and answer it.
So wait, are you talking about like 2 separate days, or are you talking about like going home?
No, we're talking about the same day. So the following day, when you're talking to people about what you did last night, and they say, "Oh, you were about watching space weather," and you would you say, "I saw the aurora," or would you say, "I saw 3 auroras"? What would you say to them?
You're putting me
That's
in a
right.
pickle
You don't
here.
want to answer this because
I don't
you don't
want
want
to
to answer
this
because you understand exactly what's happening right now.
Solar storms and supercells are completely different. I would call it the same storm.
Really, that's your answer?
I would call it a substorm because they're 2 different substorms, right? Got to rack
Yeah,
up that aurora count.
it's just a cyclical substorm, bro. It's just a cyclical substorm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I got to rack up that aurora count and put it in my bio. Really quickly, there is one thing I wanted to do. I said I would play the forecasting game, Dawson's forecasting game, really quickly. I do want to share that.
Yeah. Let's play a little bit of that right now. Let's do it.
Let's see. I'm gonna roll till we get a decent day, so it's not super boring. Because this has like every single SPC day to I think 2003. A dog can correct me on that. Including the no thunderstorm risk days, so you can get really crappy days. So I like to roll until I get like a.
Real quick, can everybody see that? Is it large enough on your screen? Just want to make sure before we roll forward. If one or more of you could answer. Okay, you're good to go.
And already it looks like we have a decent day. When you have these really high-end plains days, you really wanna see that surface low, like, already setting up over the plains. Um, Let me find where it was. We'll just go surface analysis. So this is 12Z, so this is 7 AM. And we do have a little bit of a surface low here that's setting up. And so this looks like a pretty decent data forecast. Looks like a day I would chase. And we just want to check the progression of that trough, right? I want to look at 300 millibars here. And honestly, it doesn't make much movement. It just doesn't really scream a high-end day. This is still way over here. That jet streak is just entering New Mexico. This could be like a more mesoscale day. So that's what's so fun about this. You can just get any single day you want. Let's look at our moisture. And yeah, we got a nice dry line here, extending up into the northern plains. And then we can take a look at our tornado risk. So it's 0Z, wherever we're going to get storms, which we haven't really narrowed down yet. So let's actually narrow that down first. One thing I really like to use for seeing where we're going to get storms, something that I learned from this game, is deep moisture convergence. It's actually pretty solid. Like when you have that convergence throughout the column, I believe is what this is indicating. That's a really good like parameter to use to see where you're going to get some initiation. And it looks like we might have something here in central Kansas. And we can go ahead and look at satellite and see what's going on. And we're pretty socked in stuff here. Pretty socked in. Oh yeah, I was going to say cloud cover, but it looks like we got some decent storms. It does seem to. We do seem to have some high level clouds here over the plains, so that might tamper some things. But over here in Texas, skies are clear. So this is probably where I would be targeting. Looks like we have stuff in New Mexico as well. I would probably be targeting down here in Central Texas. There is the base reflectivity mosaic, excuse me, but I'd call that cheating. So we'll go ahead and make a forecast really quickly here. We don't have a super tightly wound surface low anywhere. We might have something here in Oklahoma, but not much. So yeah, let's go look at our tornado risk really quickly. 850 millibar. And yeah, it's not going to be very synoptically driven. This is going to be like a boundary day if we want any legitimate tornado threat. I'm not going to draw the whole outlook because that takes you can spend half an hour on this trying to draw the perfect outlook. But I'm just going to say where I'm going to chase. But this is a cool aspect of it. You have convective tornado, wind, and hail. You can draw any outlook that you want. I mean, it's wild. There's another thing where you can also look at soundings. I completely forgot about this. This is incredible. So I'm probably going to be going somewhere in this area. Sometimes the soundings work, sometimes they don't. This is an old day. So you see they have the risk system on the right here, thunderstorm, and then it goes to slight, moderate, and high. I forgot when they introduced the other categories. Was it 2014, I think? So that might be why they don't have soundings on this. But anyways, I'm not going to do too much forecasting here. It looks like a large hail day, damaging wind, maybe isolated tornado. I'm gonna put a high risk for a successful chase right there. Yeah, 2%. I forgot to put the probabilities here, which is something that you can do and see how well you verify your forecast. Yeah, 2% tornado risk, low end tornado risk, wind and hail risk. Here's that day one outlook. It looks like we got a slight risk there on the Texas and New Mexico border here. Like low end 2% tornado risk. We could see our storm reports, and yeah, we got 2 tornado reports. We got one up in Wyoming and then one here in New Mexico. So it looks like I was a little bit to the east here. I was kind of just looking at satellite. But yeah. So that is a super fun game to play. You can get any day. You can get April 27th, 2011. My friend somehow is cursed and he keeps rolling that day like 4 times. But yeah, this game is freaking amazing. So I think Dawson is going to put it in chat again so you guys can play it.
Going to give someone out there who wants to figure out how to code something up with Claude or whatever LLM of choice they prefer to use. I'm thinking a GeoGuessr game only with tornadoes. So you watch like Rainbolt on his streams on YouTube or Twitch or whatever, and you just have the tornado pop up on the screen and then a little timer, and you see, how quickly you can name all the tornadoes. I think would be a pretty fun game to create.
That is something that I thought of like a year ago is like seeing the like, because I know some people are so good at seeing pictures of tornadoes and just naming them. I'm not. I mean, I know more than the average Joe, but that's, I don't know. It requires a lot of pattern recognition, and I guess I have that, but just not in that field. I can name a lot, but not as much as some people. So I'd probably suck at that.
Very cool game though, and obviously you did a great job sharing it with everybody, but I think to get the full experience, people are going to want to go play that themselves. So we don't normally do this since we do have a separate channel for self-promotion, but Dawson, if you would like to drop that link in the chat right now, and then if you even wanted to drop it again when we got closer to closing up here in 10, 15 minutes. Yeah, you can drop it again. That's what I'm saying. Not everyone's going to scroll up and... Oh, there it is. It's right there. Okay, I see. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
My bad, folks. My bad. I didn't see him. I was trying to help him out. My bad. Okay. So, Sanus Northeast Chaser has had his hand up for a little while. He's been on his best behavior. We're going to let him up again.
Okay. I have forgotten my question because I am I'm very
Dude, you were
very,
off your game tonight. What is going on over there?
I've just been participating in this chat discussion and it's been like going like I don't freaking know. Shoot.
Sanus Northeast Chaser, do you ever, you're probably too young to remember this, but there used to be a show on ESPN, I believe it was, called Stump the Schwab. Does that ring a bell?
Never watched ESPN as a kid.
Okay, so there's this fat middle-aged sports fan who was super knowledgeable about like every single little piece of sports trivia known man, and they would bring somebody on the show like a common person to compete against him in a game of trivia. And so it was called Stump the Schwab. If you could beat the Schwab, you won. And I feel like whenever we call you up here to have you ask your questions, not that it's a bad thing at all, but that always is what it feels like, because your questions are always super in-depth and they're very hyper specific, and so I'm always wondering if you're ever going to catch one of the coaches off guard when you throw something out there trying to stump the Schwabs, stump the Greenwood.
More often than not, when my questions is not really anything. When I stump the coaches, it's less often an issue on the coach's part. They're really good at what they do. More often than not, it's a communication issue, and I'm just not able to explain my question very well.
No, you're all good, man. You're all good.
Okay, I'm just trying to come up with something to ask, so I'm not wasting Steven's time.
He's contractually bound to be here for another 10 minutes. So you're good to go.
I remembered it. I'm going to ask you because, like, what do you know about both forecasting, MCS and MCV tornadoes, and like what to look for, and like where if there's like anything like structure wise on radar, where to or where how just and like also just like events to study, because I'm hopefully maybe next summer I can get out for a Midwest MCV, and that would be pretty kick-ass.
Yeah, MCV setups are a lot of fun. I've only chased one, and I was obviously here in Texas. Texas, I've learned, doesn't really do those very well. The Midwest does. I mean, like you mentioned, those are Midwest setups. The MCVs, those are very sneaky but efficient tornado producers. I think I forget.
Yeah, I was just going to say, actually, to chime in real quick there, it seems like once a year at least, there's always just some completely... Oh no, Steven, are you still there?
That's okay. Yeah, I'm still there. I have my mirrorless camera plugged in for my web instead of my actual webcam, but I have my webcam here. I'll just change that. It died.
Okay. So yeah,
camera.
I was going to say, it seems like once a year at least, there's just some completely random setup that we did not expect to produce a whole lot that just goes off, generally in the Indiana area and then moving into Western Ohio. So I was going to agree with you about that being not a solely like Midwest phenomenon, but definitely something I tend, like a pattern I've just recognized in the Midwest, and it seems like it just happens at least once a year or so.
Okay, yeah. Y'all are gonna have to deal with a lopsided webcam, but that's okay. But yeah, Yeah, so those MCV setups, an MCV is basically when you have it's a mesoscale convective vortex. It's when you have like an MCS, a mesoscale convective system, and the the system it's like a the linear it's like a linear squall line. And Jacob is 0 for 12 at NCVs. He'll take any advice. Yeah. Well, I probably don't have the best because I don't live in the Midwest. I used to, but yeah. So it's when you have a dissipating MCS and you get kind of that comma head, that little at the northern end, and it starts to spin, and you get this little remnant area of spin from the leftover squall line, the MCS, and that'll basically provide for like basically a miniature surface low, a little area of spin called an MCV. And I chased one. I think it was May 28th, 2025, last year. I went with Falcon Tornado, Falcon Storm Chasing. And that was. All right, I'm going to have this guy removed.
Come on, you gotta
You
gotta play through.
Let's get Greeny out
Imagine
of
if
here.
okay, let's imagine if LeBron James was on his way, fast break, he's gonna dunk it, and he stopped because someone was holding up a sign in the crowd. Come on, Steven. You gotta power through this. You can't let the
Yeah.
Greeny deep fried memes distract you like that.
Get that guy out of here. No, okay. I want to show you just some footage from my MCV setup because there were these. It was this little remnant MCV that I think came out of New Mexico and was going to Central Texas. It was a little 2% day. We didn't get any tornadoes. We did get this really crazy rotating funnel. It was like a scuddy funnel, and it was rotating pretty efficiently. I'm gonna pull it up here. I'm gonna screen share because I have all this footage. Let's see. I do want to find. Hold on. I don't know if. Oh yeah. Hold on. Almost there, you guys. You know what? I don't know where it is on my computer. I'm gonna show you on my phone. But I just really want to show you an example of it because it was this really tiny LP cell. It was so cool. It wasn't very beautiful, but it was this really tiny supercell with this MCV setup. And I don't know, I guess Texas just doesn't really know how to do MCV setups very well. And that's the only experience I have with them. So I don't have great advice on how to chase them. Hold on, I really want to pull this up for you. Yes, here it is. Let me join on my phone really quickly. All right, let me show you very quickly. You guys see?
Yep, I can see.
Okay, so we go. Would you look at that? Earl has a bunch of random crap. Yeah, so we have.
I
You
was
can
gonna
see
say
this.
you're rolling the dice, playing with the devil here, showing us the old library on the phone.
Oh yeah. I definitely am. So we had this little area of spin where that X is, and then this was going to be our target area. So that little area of spin was going to kind of translate off into that region, and you could see these very tiny little cells, and they were all spinning just a little bit. You could see that just a little bit of spin. They had nice little tiny little mesocyclones, and it was really cool to see. You can see like it has kind of like a little bit of a hook echo there. You can see that. So we approach this cell and we get this little scuddy funnel that tries to spin up. I'll do a time lapse here. You can see that rising motion. You can see that little miniature wall cloud, and that it's trying to reach to the ground, but it couldn't quite do it. I don't think there was really enough low level instability. It was pretty weak. But yeah, that cell actually turned into the prolific Austin Hailer. Yeah, MCVs are always give cold core vibes. They really do. Cold cores and MCVs, those are fun ones to chase. But you can see what happened is even though we had these very miniature supercells, the environment supported mini supercells that day. All of these little miniature supercells basically kind of started to merge into one, and we got one big beefy supercell. And it just became a massive hailer. And it trekked all the way towards Austin, and we got some pretty decent hail. It just literally pummeled Austin in hail. It was a disaster. I think one person died from flooding. But look at that hail spike over Austin. That is insane. So yeah, we did not want to follow that into the city, but that was a pretty crazy day with the good old Falcon storm chasing. He is a great chaser. We did actually get a gust NATO. I never counted.
Why do I never see him in here, by the way?
He was in here one time, I think. I think I was just talking to him earlier. He said he was going to go, I guess, shovel some sleet off his driveway. Just some busy work.
Right. I know they're mutually exclusive, shoveling sleet off your driveway and joining a Discord server. So, yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, here's that supercell that day. You can see how well it was spinning. But it just never quite got it done. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. And we got actually a little gust NATO. You could see that. I never counted this because I think it was just a little spin up along the outflow. But it was truly devastating, actually. I think it almost destroyed Austin. But I'm not counting that one. Anyways, that was a fun day. So yeah, that's my expertise on, or whatever expertise I have on MCV setups. Yeah, Falcon is too busy contemplating the mysteries of light. Yeah, dude is a deep thinker. We have incredible conversations on our chases in the car. He's a deep thinker. He dives deep. He goes in the deep dive.
Oh, welcome. Listen, you get into his vehicle the next time you guys are storm chasing together and you just hear "Welcome to the Deep Dive" coming on the radio.
Yeah.
You know it's going to be good.
Oh, you met him on the Sandhills Day in July and told him to go to the wrong storm. Ooh, was that April 20? Yeah, April 27th.
All right, so we have a few questions here.
July 15th.
I know technically questions are closed, but I'm going to let a couple of these people, since we're kind of letting our hair down here on this show, we're going to let a couple of these people come up on stage. It's got to be quick though, folks, because we don't have a lot of time, and I'm not going to make Steven sit here forever. So first, I'll throw this out there. I don't know if M Fraser 1 got an answer. They wanted to know, where do you find information on the BZ? I use the Space Weather Live app. I'm not sure what you use, Steven.
Yeah, I use an app called Aurora. It's just called Aurora, but there's also some sites on there. I do use Space Weather Live as well. It kind of just depends, like whatever I click on. But yeah, both are great.
Right. So yeah, I see you, Greeny. I'm letting you up on the stage. He said he's had his hand up for a while. So all right, Greeny, you're up first. Remember, we got to keep it snappy.
Hi, Steven.
Hello.
Again, not going to forgive you for January 19th, but in
It'll flip.
the theme of the Aurora Borealis, what exactly should I be looking at when trying to decipher, whether a solar storm's going to be good, and actively observing the storm as it's happening to know when when things are going to get like bright and colorful.
So again, I'm not a huge professional with this because I live in Texas. I don't, live in Alaska or North Dakota or whatever. I don't deal with these a lot. I literally just started learning about them. And I kind of just test my luck and go out there and see, but obviously you want to look at the BZ and see if that flips negative. I know there's like solar wind density. I think that contributes to the brightness, kind of how like bright the storm is. I think, the wind speeds as well. You want to see, someone correct me if I'm wrong, like above 900 to 1,000. I think is it. I forget what the units are. See, I'm not super knowledgeable on that because I live in Texas and don't really need to learn that much about them.
Yeah, I think you're right though. Above 900, above 1,000, you start getting into the speeds where you don't even necessarily need southward oriented magnetic fields. The BZ doesn't even have to be negative for you to still get auroral effects just because it's so fast. I think that's what happened with this last one, right? You had the BZ stay mostly positive during the times when the aurora was active, but the speed was coming so fast and furious. It's a Vin Diesel reference, by the way.
Are people saying I'm muted?
He's not muted. Does he know he's muted? I can hear you. If you're muted, then I'm muted too, or something. I don't know. All right. Okay. We're going to let Sanus Northeast Chaser and then VEI up on the stage for a couple of final questions here. So, Sanist, you are back up, my friend.
Quick very fast question. This is more of an opinion-based thing or anything. Would you qualify spin-ups along the rear flank gust front tornadoes as long as they have a complete connection to the cloud base, or would you just write it off as a gust tornado, like a lot of other people do? Because I count those as tornadoes.
I might, because you can get tornadoes along the rear flank gust front. Because when it shoots out that boundary, that gust front, you can get convergence and you can get that vorticity to be tilted and get tornadoes. I mean, I the one I saw that I was just talking about on May 28th with the little mini supercell, that was really more of like an outflow. Like it wasn't like a rear flank gust front spin up, because those can achieve like pretty, EF1, maybe even like EF2. Like they're rare, but they can happen. But yeah, if it's kind of iffy. Like I said, if you feel it, you chase it. Whatever. If you feel it, you chased it. I don't know. I'm trying to say something
This,
cool.
by
here.
the way, this is not the official stance of Storm Chaser Coaching. He speaks for
It
himself.
is. Yeah. Okay.
All right, last one, Steven. Throwing you VEI. I wanted to say VEI or VI. I don't want to pronounce it wrong though. So VEI is what I'm going with here.
You were right with they.
Okay, perfect. I'll remember that. VEI.
Yeah, because I've often say to people it rhymes with they, but I want to separate from the knowledge aspect and just get more on the experience. Because I just wanted to know like what your like craziest storms you have ever chased, and I'm not talking about like just tornadoes or just straight line winds, just crazy in general.
Oh, there's so many.
Question.
I got 3 as well, so I know how that feels, and I'm not a chaser.
Yeah. And I mean, I've definitely put the best on my wall here. I mean, Holly, Texas was one of the best tornadoes I've ever seen. This was Wink, Texas. This was April 26, 2025. I went out with my dad to West Texas. That was a absolutely stunning storm. And this is my favorite photo ever taken. Right here. This was, I mean, I've never had better composition. This photo, I freaking love this photo. The way you can see this mesocyclone kind of like twist here. You can see like the top of the supercell. That was a fantastic storm. Just a few more. We had the Morton, Texas day. I mean, I'll never forget that day as well. I mean, Morton was wicked. That was a crazy tornado. And I mean, we saw a whole bunch of tornadoes that day. That one was wild. That was the Smyre, Texas EF2, which crossed the road in front of us. We had to kind of abandon it. Saw the mesocyclone moving towards us, like we got to go, and so it crossed right where we were. And then the last one is, this was May 18th. Falcon and I saw a lot of tornadoes that day, or at least chased a lot. They were a little bit hard to see. But that was a crazy, crazy pancake supercell. Not a lot of people saw the supercell. I know my friend Zach did. He kind of saw it later in the day. I know Carmen, I think Palmero's his name. He saw that. That was a crazy freaking pancake. Everybody was in Kansas. Everybody and their mother were in Oklahoma and Kansas that day. But that was the mothership of all pancake motherships. That one was beautiful. And it had a tornado under it too. So that was a crazy day. So those are some of my craziest chase days. Some of the craziest storms I've seen.
You've got a pretty nice little collection there for being a new storm chaser.
I know. And a lot of it, is luck in storm chasing. Like skill can only get you so far. You can forecast, you can get out to the right area, but again, it's like Holly, Texas. It's just calling the right storm, And I mean, I just, like I said, storm chasing was the best decision I've ever made. And I am just forever grateful for the things that I've seen. Like, I'm not supposed to see that stuff. I haven't even graduated high school. I started chasing sophomore year or freshman to sophomore year. And the things I've seen, like, I am trying not to get spoiled. I appreciate every storm. That's what you got to do. You got to, if you go out there expecting to see tornadoes and beautiful storms every single time, you're going to get disappointed. You just got to, appreciate everything you see. Try to make something of it. When I went to chase,
If you feel it, appreciate it.
if you feel it, appreciate it. I
There we
chased,
go.
March 5th. The last thing I'll say is, because I chased March 15th, the high risk in Dixie Alley in Mississippi, and got nothing. Like a lot of people. And I just shot some B-roll that day, of damage, because there was a lot of tornadoes. They were hard to see and hard to chase. Everybody targeted the wrong area, but I just kind of used that day to my advantage and, got some B-roll. So you just always try to find something useful out of a chase. Always appreciate the chase, getting to see new towns, meeting people. It's listening to music in the car, because I love driving. I love listening to music. So just try to always get something from a chase, even if you didn't see anything noteworthy.
I think that is a wonderful place to leave it. So thank you all for joining us here tonight. Stephen, thank you for hanging out and answering questions. Anna, thank you so much for being the audience coordinator. Did a wonderful job as always. And most of all, thank all of you in the audience for hanging out with us here, asking your questions, giving us lots of fun feedback and comments and chat. It's always the there's a new one right there. There's a new
God.
deep fried Steven.
Oh God. Yeah. Well, it was awesome to see a lot of new people in here. I was good to see Connor. It was good to see Jacob. I know Jacob's been in here, but good to see Daw as well. And one of my friends that I've known for a long time joined. He joined for just a little bit to screw around with me. I'm glad. I'm surprised and glad he did not come up on stage.
All right, folks. Well, you guys have a wonderful night, and keep posting those deep fried Stevens. Take care, everyone.
Thank you, guys.